In this episode, we'll look at how anyone can achieve the holy grail of productivity, Inbox Zero. All it takes is a few simple steps and an email management app like Inbox by Google, and you will never go back to your old system. Listen in as we walk you through the process.
So, guys, at a high level, the way to think about email is it's just another to-do list. It's just a to-do list that the public has access to. So just like you want to scratch items off of a to-do list, think about email the same way. You want to get your inbox to zero. So you've heard the term zero inbox. Now, the best way to get to zero inbox or inbox zero is to get to email zero. So we've mentioned before this webinar, we've done one on Slack. And if you missed that, the recording is in Wistia, which you all have access to. So Slack is a team communication tool, and that helps to move conversations out of your email, which should be used primarily for the public, so external, and keep all internal conversation in Slack. So if you're running a team and you're using email and text to communicate with your team, move all of those conversations to Slack, and you're going to cut down on over 50% of email right there just by making that one change. And again, refer to the Slack webinar that I did. And it's a great task to give to Leverage if you want. If you need help getting set up with Slack, we can help you with that. So email is a public to-do list. It's a to-do list that you don't control. Anyone can add things to it. So the goal is, how do you take back control of this tool that's a public tool that other people can mess around with? So there's basically three things that you can do with an email. And every email that you get, you should be thinking about these three things. You either deal with the email. So it requires a response. You can respond, takes you a couple of minutes, and you respond and then it's done with. You can defer an email. So sometimes you either need to collect more information or you're too busy to formulate the response. Or, for instance, it could be directions to your dentist and you don't need it now, but the dentist appointment is next Wednesday. So you need it for Wednesday, but not today. So it should get out of your email right now, your inbox, and come back when it's relevant, which is next Wednesday. So no matter what email tool you're using, Gmail, Outlook, iCloud, it all follows at a high level this concept that you have what we call an inbox. That's the terminology that's used in Gmail and Inbox by Google. So the inbox is basically your to-do list. This is high priority things that need to be taken care of. And then you have an archive, which is lower priority things, which is different though than deleting. So archiving doesn't delete, it's still searchable. It's just you have to have this distinction between I need to deal with something and I don't need to deal with something. So there should be just a handful of things in your inbox and everything else should be archived. And I'm going to show you tricks and techniques how to effectively move things between inbox and out of inbox. Part of it is filters. So I'll provide you guys with a long email string, which basically means any email that has the word unsubscribe, opt-in, things like that. It's probably not a high priority. So again, we're not going to delete these emails, but part of the trick here is those emails should just automatically skip your inbox and go to your archive, which is kind of like your optional folder. And you'll just start training yourself to look at your inbox, 5-10 times a day. And this archive or optional folder, you'll look at it maybe once or twice a day. Maybe once when you wake up, once when you go to sleep, just to make sure that nothing has been filtered out or nothing has skipped the inbox and gone straight to archiving that's important. But it's a muscle here. Like you're just training the muscle. Look at the archive, scan it really quickly, move things out of archive to inbox. If, every day there's always one or two that gets sent to archive that are important. but at least my inbox isn't getting flooded with hundreds of emails. Does that make sense? So at a high level, that's the way to think about email. You have inbox for things that you need to deal with right now, and then you have archive for things less important. So with that being said, Google has Gmail, which is what we recommend, and they just released something called Inbox by Google, which is just a different UI for how to use Gmail. It's like the more modern look and feel, and they have more functionality like snoozing. So Joseph, why don't you share your screen now and we try to get you to inbox 0. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to chime in, and we'll deal with that. Okay, so you already have an optional folder, so I guess you've worked with us to some extent.
Yeah, I've got it started, but I don't have it all operating, if that makes sense. So I'm tempted to get it running, but...
So I'm actually not a big advocate of the optional folder. I know Ari is. I think I just do my email based on, so the done folder that's already built in, for me, that's enough. So done is the equivalent of archive. So guys, one nice thing about Inbox by Google versus Gmail is they group emails all together. So you can see there's a line break and it shows yesterday right there. Maybe, can I just share, can I control the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Request remote control.
Cheers.
Great. So do you mind if I pull this out into its own?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Oops. Can you make that full screen?
Yeah, I can try. Not sure where it went, Nick.
Sorry. Why don't you minimize the screen? It's probably behind this if you minimize this Chrome.
Yeah, it's down below somewhere. I can see it, but it's not letting me grab it. No. Nope.
Can you just minimize this Chrome that we're seeing? Like click the orange top left. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did, see. Now you've got my messy screen staring at everybody. So, and I'm trying to get down here to my box down, or my controls down here, but the Zoom controls are over top of it. There we go. There it is.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay, can you just make Inbox by Google full screen?
There you go. Sorry about all that. Okay, do you have control?
Yeah, but I don't see, your screen is like frozen.
All right, just a minute. Let me, resume share. How's that? Did that do it?
No, why don't you stop sharing your screen and restart?
Okay.
All right, so there was a question here. Is there a way to see starred emails in Inbox? Well, the whole point of looking at email, but you shouldn't have to star an email anymore. So I know in regular Gmail you can star. There's no starring in Inbox, but you shouldn't have to. If you're using email properly, your inbox is your starring. And if you want to refer to something, say in a month, you should snooze it to a month. And if something is, say, something you want to refer to and you're not sure when, you could just create a folder called star and move those into a folder. Okay, so Joseph, let's try that again. Share your screen.
Working on it here.
The reason I ask is because I have a lot of starred emails in my regular Gmail that I don't want to lose. Okay, why don't we do, John, after we do Joseph, let's do you in the hot seat. Joseph, can you share your screen again?
Yep. Working on it.
Okay. Okay. Do I have control?
Don't know. Probably not. You probably have to request it.
Request remote control. Okay. Okay. So in Inbox by Google, there's some functionality that you get that you don't get with regular Gmail. So the first is snoozing. So can I click on some of these emails?
Sure.
All right. So you notice here that there's a little snooze icon. So this allows you to remove the email temporarily from your inbox, and it moves to this snoozed folder, and it comes back into your inbox to whatever date you snoozed it to. And they had some preset ones, but you can also select a date and time right there. So that's super powerful. And the cool thing here too is if this person responds, it automatically removes the snooze. So it'll go back. You don't have to worry like, oh, well, what if the person writes back and I snoozed it for a month? No, it disables the snooze automatically and it comes back to your inbox. You don't have to worry about that. So what's the next step for this email with, what's the name? Huma.
Huma.
Yep. So do you need to, are you waiting on something or can you
reply? Yeah, we're going to have a meeting in a couple hours today and we'll be referencing that particular email.
Okay. So if it's used today, just keep it in here for now then. Mm-hmm. Tax questions, are you referencing that on the call?
You can delete those. No, they're... Okay.
So let's see if you've enabled keyboard shortcuts. If you hit the letter E, does it archive it? Yep. Okay. So there's keyboard shortcuts that you can set up. Seems like yours were set up. Ooh, you have quite a lot of folders here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I need, I'll get Leverage help to help me get rid of the rest of the folders.
Let me just see what folders you have here.
You probably just want to look for the optional folder.
Yep. All right, let's put low priority on here. Sorry, I just want to take a look really quick what you have. So yeah, like these, I really don't. So you used to use followup.cc, which you don't. Followup.cc was basically what this snoozing is now. So if you're using Outlook or iCloud, you should use followup.cc because it doesn't have snoozing built in. And basically what that does is you can write someone an email and BCC 3D at followup.cc, and that email will come back into your inbox in 3 days. If you're a Gmail user though, you don't need to worry about that because you got it already built in. Okay, so you've enabled keyboard shortcuts. That's why the E worked. Just want to see what else you have here. You don't use an email signature?
I do, but I use a different service that automatically puts it on there.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's go back to where we were. All right, so Norma. Anything for you to do?
No, we can archive that. That's done.
Okay. So hit E. All right, let's go to optional. So you got a bunch of stuff. Another cool thing with Inbox by Google is it bundles things together. So I'll show you, this is a bundle. This is all within optional. So if you click the check mark here, the check mark will archive this whole grouping of emails. So is there anything here you need?
Nope, you could archive it all. You could delete it all, actually.
So actually, wait, let's scroll down and just make sure. How about these?
Yep, we're okay with those.
Okay.
And we're okay with those.
Cool. Now let's just say, for instance, there was one in here that you don't want to archive, but the rest you...
Like the one from Nick for today.
So what you can do is you can pin that. So pinning will exclude that from archiving. So this check mark will archive everything else except for that one that I just pinned.
That's awesome. That I hadn't figured out, so that'll help a lot.
Great. So you see here, the one that I pinned is right there with a pin. So that's a really easy way to quickly go through these. So I bundled the low priority for you. So now you can do the same thing. So you quickly look. Is there anything here that seems important to you?
Nope.
November. I mean, if we're, if it's more than...
Yes, the one that says Joey Kramer, we need to pin that. And the one that says Matt Roper, we would want to pin that.
Okay, so pin that. And which one?
One below it, two below that one.
This one?
That one. Yep.
All right.
And got to pin the other Matt Roper.
I went to a tennis camp with Elon.
Oh yeah, they're tax clients of mine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're awesome guys.
Yep. Sorry, did you say to pin another one?
Yeah, the one above that's pin that one right there that you're on.
Okay.
And scroll down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Pin the very last one.
Cool.
The one at the bottom. Sorry, the one said Joe. Very, very last one. Keep going, keep going. Or maybe it's already pinned.
I think it's not in...
That one. The very bottom one says Joe Nature. That one.
That's not a part of the low priority, right?
Great.
So when I archive, that's not going to get archived.
Okay, great.
So let's archive. Oh, she's saying that we missed a Matt Roper at the top. Is there something here that we missed?
There was one other Matt Roper that would be good. There, right there. That one.
We pinned it there, right?
Okay, there's one more, a couple of lines down then. Down. Keep going. You'll see. There it is right there. That one right there.
All right. Good eye, Onika. All right. So let's archive all the low priority there. So again, guys, like we just got rid of over 46 emails with one click. So it's really powerful. And then, updates. Typically, they have a lot of machine learning algorithms that's starting to learn what's important to you, what's not, and grouping it automatically. So none of these are important for you, right?
That's correct.
So in one click, we just got rid of 3. So let's just see what we're dealing with here. Just want to take a quick look. Okay, so it doesn't go back. This would be pretty easy to get through. So, all right, so this you're dealing with today. The tax questions, are you dealing with that today?
You can delete that one, actually.
All right, so check mark. Trello check mark.
Yep.
All right, did you accept that? Do you want me to say
accept it? Yeah, accept it, and then you can archive it.
Cool, so.
He's one of your guys.
Yep.
That one you can archive. We've already got it in another place. We need to keep that one.
But are you going to deal with this today?
Yeah. We
Okay.
need to deal with it in the Tuesday meeting today.
Gotcha. And now, guys, just to show you, like this inbox 0, now we don't need it. So now let's archive it. And again, this is not deleting. If you go to the done, this is where they all live. So you'll be able to find all of these, and it's searchable, and it's all just right here. I'm sure if we keep scrolling, you'll see the one from me for the leverage reminder. But nothing is deleted; it's all searchable. So, if you type Nick Sonnenberg, you'll see all the emails that I've sent to you. Yeah, there's the inbox 0 webinar right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one you're dealing with today, the post office?
You can archive that. It's just some repairs I've got to do on my East Otis post office box. Post office.
Archive that.
Yep.
All right. Now this one, payroll reports. Are you dealing with this today?
You can archive that. I've already got that information taken care of.
Okay.
Same
here.
with that one. Mm-hmm.
Now let's just say, for instance, this one.
That one you can delete.
I don't delete anything, but I mean,
Okay.
all right, that's fine if you really want to.
That one I have to deal with today.
Let's let's just say that you're going to deal with it today, but like, let's say you're going to deal with it later today, like 6 p.m.
Okay, great.
So now typically I won't snooze things to the same day. I'll snooze them at least 24 hours. Otherwise I just keep it in the inbox. I'm not.
Let's do that next one. Norma Co. We could do that tomorrow morning.
Great. So snooze to tomorrow.
Yep.
So now those just left the inbox and now they're in snoozed. You see, they're right there, and they're going to kick out. This one's going to get kicked out of there at 6 tonight. This is going to get kicked out tomorrow morning at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just stop for a second, Joseph, and see if people have some questions.
Okay.
All right. Q&A. All right. Are we going to be covering using canned emails responses? I've been bouncing between snippets on Alfred and canned email. Yeah, so Jacqueline, Gmail has canned responses, and another tool also. If you watched the Intercom webinar I did a few weeks ago, which again that's in Wistia, Intercom. If you're using that tool, they have canned responses as well in the shared email account feature. But as much as possible, in general, guys, I don't believe in these plugins that people have. I don't believe in Boomerang, Reportive. What's that other one that everyone has that's just basically like a virus? SaneBox is horrible. There's really, I aggregate 5 different email accounts into one. So I'm not logging in and out of personal email. So my personal email is nicholas.sonnenberg@gmail. I have Nick at Get Leverage. I have a Nick at iCloud. I have a bunch of email addresses, and I'm not going to get into it today. This is something, if people are interested, I can make a video for Wistia. But I've aggregated all of them into one account. So I have one primary Gmail account. All other emails funnel into this one account. And when I reply from whatever email address it was sent to. So I log into my personal, which is nicholas.sonnenberg@gmail. But I'll get emails of people writing to Nick at Get Leverage. And when I reply, if someone writes to me, Nick at Get Leverage, when I reply, it's set up so the reply is from Nick at Get Leverage, even though I'm logged into a different Gmail account. So I'm not logging in and out. For me, in general, there's no difference between work emails and personal emails. Like it's a to-do list item regardless. So I prefer just one place to look at everything I need to do. When I get to inbox 0, it's like I'm at inbox 0 for life. And again, like I'm all about work-life integration. So I really suggest doing it like that. So Jacqueline, I hope that answered your question. I would use the canned responses that Gmail has. Yes, pinning is the new star, Nico. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. So with Inbox, they're cannibalizing their Boomerang business. Yeah, you don't need Boomerang. You don't need Boomerang or followup.cc anymore now with Inbox by Google. So Nico, I hope that answers that question. Jacqueline, did that answer your question about canned responses? Nico, snoozing is free. So you can snooze to a date and a time even if you want. Otherwise, you can just snooze to a date and it defaults to the defaulted start time. So for me, I defaulted the start of day at 7 a.m. That's just a setting you can set. So pinning is the new star. I need to use to track emails use regular email for sending it. Yeah, so that's a good point. So Gmail, you still, in Inbox by Google, you can't install plugins. And there's not that many plugins that I actually suggest. If you're using like HubSpot CRM, for instance, that's a good use case where you would have to use the old Gmail and you can't use Inbox by Google, but they're synced together. So you can log into Gmail to do whatever you need to for the HubSpot stuff, but you can start your day with Inbox by Google and quickly archive a bunch of things and snooze a bunch of things that you need to, and then just use Gmail for a handful of like one-off functionalities that you can't yet do in Inbox. So like one, for instance, is I find that the hello sign integration, if you're doing a lot of email signatures or like contract signatures, you can't do that right now in Inbox by Google, but you can in Gmail. So if you use hello sign and someone sends you a document, it's nice in Gmail. You can just click a button, and without leaving your email, you can sign a document right in Gmail. So that's something missing from Inbox. Email from Marker. Yeah, so Nico, Inbox by Google does learn over time. So it starts learning, for instance, if you start archiving a bunch of things, it starts to learn what is low priority for you, and it'll start moving things into low priority. All right, I need to do. Okay, Nick, what advice do you have for someone like me who has a lot of that probably not relevant? Nico, do you want to take the hot seat after we're done with Joseph here? I have a really easy trick for you, Nico. I'll get you to Inbox 0 by the end of today. All right. It's called pulling the BandAid off. I'm just going to archive everything beyond 2 weeks old. Can you change that is correlated to later today? I believe you can. If you go to settings in Inbox, I believe that you can. So let's see here. Snooze. Do I still have control here?
Yep.
All right. So let's see here. If we go to settings, Snooze, customize your snooze times. So later today is set to 6 o'clock. You can set that. And when you snooze to a specific date, you can set, instead of 8 a.m., like I've changed it to 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Just getting through these questions here. All right. Can you do a video on how to set up mutable? Yeah. So Fred, that's a bit more advanced. I'll just do my own tutorial, not a webinar, and I'll post it into Wistia, and you can check that out in Wistia. Okay, Fred? How to integrate the various email accounts. I have 5 that I need to check. Okay, so this is merging everything. The lack of driving me crazy. All right, so Nico, I'll do a separate video on that. How much time to spend dealing with emails? It's as much as it takes. I mean, I'm not one of these people. You'll read these productivity articles where people say, don't read your email first thing in the morning. But you have to understand that the people, 99.9% of the population don't use email properly. So those articles are written because people don't use email properly, and it's cognitive overload to open up your email at 7 a.m. and see 10,000 emails. But if you're in the 0.1% that use email properly, you can check email 50 times a day. It doesn't matter, because you're not wasting time looking at the same email a million times. So I'm not one of these people, like I'm against what you'll read in a lot of these productivity articles. I think you should check email as much as you can. The only thing is, if you're using it properly and you have Inbox for important and archive for less important, you want to just keep that ratio like 5 or 10 to 1, where you're checking Inbox many times a day and you're checking archive just a handful of times a day. In addition, John Jackson, I don't recommend a separate to-do list. Your email is your to-do list, and as few tools as possible, as few places to look as possible, the more productive you're going to be, as far as I'm concerned. So if you have to start using email as a to-do list, and then another to-do list as a to-do list, and then Trello, and then Slack, it just becomes too much. So consolidate as much as you can. It seems like I don't have control right now over. Okay, so let me just show one more thing. So what you can do is you can write an email, but above it in Inbox, do you see this here? It's called Reminder. So instead of writing an email, you can set a reminder, which is a to-do list item. So it's book dinner for 4, let's say. So now that's in your inbox, because inbox is a to-do list. So it makes sense that this reminder, which is a to-do list, is in your email, because your email is a to-do list. So I set reminders for myself. So I had a reminder for myself to approve everyone that registered for this webinar. And what I've done is I've had as a reminder, it's set to a Monday. When Monday comes along, I will log into Zoom, I'll approve everyone, and then I'll re-snooze it to Tuesday. So this morning, or just before this started, the only email I had in my inbox was approve people for webinar. So I logged into Zoom just before here. I approved everyone, and now I've snoozed that to do to next Monday, because now I don't have to think about that to do item until next Monday. Make sense? So right now I have, I'm sure I got some emails while on this webinar, but I got to inbox 0 right before this webinar because I was able to snooze the thing that I know I need to snooze. So, if this, you're not going to book dinner today, but you're going to do it tomorrow, you can just snooze it to tomorrow. And if you don't want to do that, you can just archive it out of Snooze. Now, another couple of things that you might want to consider here just in terms of settings. So you're allowed to group things together. So you notice you have a grouping of low priority. You have a grouping of updates. You also have a grouping of trips. So one thing that I suggest too, so that you're not getting those things coming into it doesn't save you any time if you're getting, your setting right now is not suited for you, right? Because every time you get a low priority thing, it's coming back into your face. You want to check low priority once or twice a day, but every time you get a new low priority email, you don't want it distracting you from high priority. So another setting that you should do is on the folder level itself, have it come in just once a day. So in the morning, you're going to get one email of low priority, and it's going to aggregate everything that came in the last 24 hours. And again, if during the day you want to check your low priority, you can always go here and check it. It's still there for you. And you can archive, but it's not distracting you from the most important stuff. So go into your settings and change all of these to once a day. Does that make sense? Okay. Trips will leave. Trips, you might, if you have an update to a trip, you might want that. And your optional folder, let's just do that once a day too. Okay, let's keep going. Then I want to get someone else on the hot seat. I want to get you though in a good place so that you can quickly get the rest to 0. So Joseph, do you want to go through and try yourself? And while you're doing that, I'm going to just answer some questions. Okay, so John, repeating reminders. The way that I do repeating reminders, so there's 2 ways to do it. One, and the way I do it is I have that weekly reminder I was just mentioning where on Mondays I get the snoozed reminder that I need to approve people. And then I just know that I need to re-snooze it for the next week. So you can manually re-snooze. Or what you can do is set up Zapier, for instance, and automatically have that email come into your inbox once a week or whatever date, whatever frequency you want. So you can use Zapier to repeat emails coming in, or you can just remember to snooze yourself. at your liking. I just prefer to manually re-snooze. It doesn't happen enough for me. And if something's like a repeating reminder, I guess it matters what kind of repeating reminder, but usually that's a work or a business thing, and I'm doing that with Process Street or Trello and using Zapier to automatically create checklists or Trello cards for me. Does that answer your question, John? How much time? Okay, dealing with emails. All right, so yeah, Jacqueline, there's no time. I'm looking at email a lot. I probably spend, an hour total every day just on email, maybe an hour and a half. But most of it is, in the inbox dealing with emails, and then a fraction of that is looking through the other folders to make sure nothing was missed and moving things out of the low priority and into the high priority. So typically, like my morning routine is, I'm not even looking at inbox. What I'll first do is I'll look at the unimportant stuff that was bundled in the unimportant folders, like done or low priority, and I'll pin the ones that I want to take a look at, and then I'll archive all the rest. So I basically start my day not doing really like high level thinking, but just making sure, did anything slip through the cracks, and moving things that slip through the cracks back to my inbox. And then after I have my cup of coffee, I've basically increased my inbox by a few emails because I've moved things from low priority to high priority. And then when I have some time, then I'll go through inbox. I'll deal with the quick things that I just know I can archive or snooze and get my inbox down to just a handful. And then when I have time, I'll spend time doing the things that require a little bit more thought. All right. Can you say more about SaneBox becoming? So SaneBox creates all of these folders, and then it just becomes a mess, Brian. You don't need all of those folders. Gmail has such good searchability that you just need to have inbox and done, basically, and you should be able to manage your email very effectively. SaneBox is just filtering and unsubscribing and doing things like that. There's tools like unroll.me if you want to unsubscribe from things. But I'm going to give you guys a string. I'll share my screen at the end of this, and I'll show you a filtering string. And if you just use that and you have the emails that match this string, skip your inbox and automatically archive, there's, in my opinion, no reason to use SaneBox. Auto send news type to trash. Yeah, you don't need to move things to trash though. Like if it's an archive, you're already not looking at it. So if you want to move it to trash, you can. But the idea here is you skip inbox and archive, and then when you wake up in the morning, you check your archive and make sure nothing slipped through the cracks, and you move it back to inbox if it did. And it just takes literally less than 20 seconds in the morning to quickly scan. You know what's important and what's not important. So it's really quick to just take a quick look. Okay, here are the 50 emails that came in overnight. This one maybe is important, so let's move it out. All right, I'll share my inbox. So Joseph, you're good. You're at inbox 0 now, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So Nico, do you want to be the next up? All right, so all right, thanks, Joseph.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, here we go, Nico. Welcome to the hot seat. Hey, Nico, you're on mute.
Cool. Should be able to hear me now, yeah?
Yep. How are you?
I'm well. I'm in my getting ready to travel today. Still haven't taken a shower mode, so forgive the gruff look.
That's all right. I mean, now the rest of the world forever will know that in our Wistia account.
Love it.
All right.
This is how every leverage VA sees me for what it's worth.
All All right. Do you want to share your screen and we get you to inbox zero?
Sure. Let's go with.
All right. Wait. Let me see, Brian. I find, for example, that when the updates tab is in my inbox and I click it, it is missing some of the emails in the. All right, Brian. I'm not sure. Let's do a screen share after. All right. Great. So you're using the old Gmail.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So just hang on 1 second. I've been talking about this magic string. Let me just give it to you now so we can do this live. Okay. All right.
And this is, by the way, this is my my business account where where I run my podcast and most of my consulting. So it has much fewer, only 1,300 unread emails.
Only 1,300, huh? Okay, so I'm going to just paste a string into the chat here, and Melissa will include this in the follow-up. So I just pasted a long string. You see that?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so do me a favor. Can you click on the settings icon?
Sure. I move the video.
And do you mind if I take control here?
Not at all. Go for it.
All right. So if you're in regular Gmail, there's a few settings that you should enable. Let's go through this. So you go on the gear icon, you click on settings. All right. So here's a few settings that you should always enable. So click on Show Send and Archive.
Down at the bottom, you mean? Yeah.
All right. So you're going to want that. That basically just helps you. When you send an email, the default, it'll show you a button next to send. So you can either send the email or send an archive. And most of the time, after you send the email, you want it out of your inbox. So it's really helpful to have that archive button right there.
Oh, I see. So that basically archives the entire thread after you've responded.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Keyboard shortcuts you want on. That's good.
Not that I know what they are yet.
Okay. You might want to consider an email signature.
I use, similar to the previous guy, I use a different one.
Okay. Let me just see what else you have there. All right. That's cool. So now let's go to the next one. All right. So we're not going to cover it on this call, but you guys, what is this? Authenticate. All right. Seems like you have some issue with the way that you set up aggregating some emails.
Right.
Yeah, so we would have to fix that, or you should post that as a task for us. But
I probably should have on May 7th.
Yeah. So this is where if you have multiple email accounts, you want to. So there's two things. You want to set a primary email account for yourself.
Yeah. Well, so let me show you real quick. So I mean, these are actually not even all of them, but the main account that I have. Again, as you said, pulling off the BandAid here, like this is the account I've had since 2001 when Gmail was in beta.
Yep.
And it was at one time over 100,000 unread emails.
Yeah.
So what I have here, well, not that, but settings. This is where I have all my calendars connected and whatnot. Although I probably have to go to calendar for that. Different leverage task altogether.
All right. So
this is my main account. Like if I had to choose one, this would be it.
All right.
But as you probably know, I don't have my Suncast account connected here. I've kept them separate up till now because I don't want the confusion. I don't even use some of these anymore. But
so you purposely haven't connected your other email into here?
Yeah, I've connected them on calendar, but not on email.
Is that because you have too many emails and you don't want things to get lost?
Yeah, probably.
So if you were
I mean,
to,
I'll be honestly, it's as much like fear of the unknown as anything. Like I don't want to fuck something up, and I just
all right. So I gotcha. So if you are able to maintain and have control of your email, right? So we need to get your email down to 0.
Mm-hmm.
You could connect your other email into here, and you just deal with it here. So why don't we set this email account up, get this to 0, and then later as a task, we can help to connect or if you know how to do it, connect your other email into here and you'll just have to log into this. So go to general.
Okay, I have one quick question. So one of the reasons why I've been hesitant, even with leverage, to share this Gmail account is because I use Project Fi, and basically, like my entire life is connected to this Gmail account. So it's been one of those things that I kind of have held off on connecting. For the most part, I've been connecting stuff to my Suncast account, which we were just in. So for what it's worth, like that's
No, that doesn't matter.
okay.
All right. So eventually we'll do that. Now let's set up filtering. So basically we're going to create a filter, and we're going to use that string that I gave you guys in the chat. So you're going to click on create a new filter.
Okay.
All right. Now you're all right to rip off the BandAid, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Because we're not going to delete anything. We're just
This is a lower threshold in my Gmail account. It's mostly just personal emails that I care about and a bunch of spam.
Copy this and paste it in the has the words.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find it real quick.
So go to the chat, copy everything,
I
including
gotta pull the chat up. Hang on.
paste it in the has words.
Whoops. Okay, so copy that. In the has words.
Yeah.
Like that.
Great. All right. So then you want to go to create filter with this search.
Okay.
Yeah.
Change the.
Wait.
Hang on. Probably it. I don't know what's going on.
Can I play with it?
Yeah, you can drive.
Okay.
Create filter. I have it saved in the clipboard, so.
All right. It's not working when I'm clicking on this create new filter. Can you create a filter and just paste it in has words?
Just refresh the screen. Not sure what's going on, but I'll go back in real quick.
All right. In the meantime, let's see what other question. I find that update thread is in my inbox.
There you go.
Brian, I'm going to need to do a screen share to see what you're talking about there. That will put in work request. If a request comes in.
Done, Nick.
Did that work?
Yep, I'm in the next phase.
Great. So now what you want to do is skip inbox and archive. So again, that's not going to delete anything. Now you also want to click on the box at the bottom, also apply to matching conversations next to create filter at the bottom.
This one.
So what that is going to do is any email right now in your inbox that has the word opt out, unsubscribe, it's going to move those to your archive. So right now you have 31,000 emails in your archive, in your inbox.
Yeah.
Now click on create filter.
Okay.
Okay. And now let's just see what magic happens here. Did a pop-up happen or something?
No.
Can you go back to settings? Let's just make sure that that filter was saved. Maybe it could just be like delayed because it's processing 30,000 emails right now, but it should cut that down to like
something
Very small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me get on with Brian and
Yeah.
come back to you. Let's give it like a minute there, but
Okay.
should be good. Check your settings and check to make sure that that filter was saved. And if not,
I'll reapply. Yep.
reapply it, but don't leave though. I want to get you back on and make sure that we got you sorted. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Brian, sorry, you
All right.
can't. Oh, okay. I see. So, Brian, though, can you get on just to explain and not share your screen?
You have to take me off as well, Nick, or unless
Yeah.
you're
Well, let's see if Brian wants to come on.
I'm gonna mute.
Yeah. Go back to your settings, though, in the meantime, while we're waiting to hear from Brian. All right. Find that Updates tab is in my inbox. And if I click it, it's missing some of the emails in the Updates folder. All right. All right. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to move you out of being a panelist right now, Nico, and then we'll move you back in, okay? Okay. Hey, Brian, you're on mute.
Am I muted?
Nope. Yeah. Now you're good. How are you doing?
Sorry, I don't have a camera.
So you're using Inbox by Google, and you're saying that in the updates folder, sometimes you don't see the same things that you see that are in the inbox?
Yeah, so you know how I have it come up into the main inbox whenever there's an email,
Uh-huh.
like once a day when there's an email in updates.
Uh-huh.
So when I click that, I see a bunch of stuff, but I keep missing stuff. And when I click over to the folders and look for the updates tab and click on that, I will see certain emails in there that are not showing up in the first grouping.
All right. So I've never seen that. Like, let me just make sure I understand. So here's your email. You're saying the updates that come into the inbox, that when you click on here, it's not showing the same thing as when you have the updates here?
Yes, exactly.
I'll have to, I've never seen that before. That shouldn't be the case. So it should be, this is exactly the same as what you see up here. So there must be a wrong setting or something. If you want to do a one-on-one with me after this, I'm happy to help you with that. So this is the reminder that I was telling you guys about. So now that the webinar is happening, I will just snooze that to next week. Here is some update for our code base, so I can archive that. And again, I don't, someone just deployed some code, so I don't need to know that. And then I'll read that after the webinar. So I'm at inbox 1.
Do you also have a way to see all the emails that have come in? If I go into inbox and I want to make sure I'm not missing something,
through
the tabs.
So
no way of looking at all the emails.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll look at this, and then like a couple times a day, I'll click on done and make sure that there's nothing in done. I'll click on updates, make sure there's nothing in updates, and I'll check on low priority. And then let's say, oh, I want to look at that. So then I'll just click on that and move it back into my inbox. But again, like I'm living 99% of my day just with inbox, and then 1% of my day I'm checking the less important folders. That's how
you know how you have the all mail view in Gmail? Is there such a view?
That's all is just done. Well, done. So all is inbox plus done. So you don't have an all view, but you have done, which is archive. So this is all of your archived.
Well, my inbox, as I said before, it misses some of the emails. So I'm having to chase different folders to make sure I don't miss anything.
Well, I'll have to take a look at your setup because that shouldn't be what's happening. I mean, I have 5 email accounts. I'm getting hundreds of emails a day, and I'm not missing any emails there. So it just must be some simple setting that you have that's incorrect. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Nico, did we break your email or are you good now? And Onika, so you have a client that will put in work. I have clients that will put in work requests. If a request comes in on a Monday, it will be set as received for Monday. Onika, I don't understand. Like, if someone writes you an email at 4:00, you're not going to see that until the next morning. That sounds silly. Email comes in time order. So if you want to first work on things that came in first, just scroll down to the oldest stuff in your inbox and work from the bottom up. But I don't believe in purposely not getting an email I don't believe in purposely delaying an email to get sent to you because you have cognitive overload. If you have a handle on, I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with that logic though. You should never, you can snooze an email. So if an email comes in that you don't want to deal with, you can snooze it, but it shouldn't be based on time. Like, you shouldn't say any email that's sent at 4:00, you want to snooze to the next day. Right? Because what if that email at 4:00 is that, God forbid, someone in your family needs to go to the hospital? Like, you can't just say all emails that come in at 4:00 get snoozed to the next morning. You should have control of your email, and you should have less than 10 emails in there. And if an email comes in that you don't want to deal with, you make the decision to not deal with it and snooze it. You shouldn't let the fact that it's 4:00 determine that it's not important and you should deal with it the next morning. So I don't agree with that. All right, Nico, you want to go back? Not at all. Just, Nico, I'll talk to you later about this, but I don't understand what you're doing. All right, Brian, thanks a lot. I'm going to remove you from a panelist now and go back to Nico, okay? All right, Nico. Can you share your screen?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So I wonder, I'm looking at it here. It didn't really do much. I'm wondering if this is something that, because I applied Unroll Me recently, and this is just it's just a legacy account. I don't know if this is something that, can you see my screen?
Yeah, but it's weird because I see like junk mail there. Like if you click on, you're in your inbox.
Right, like flyer talk should not be there. Yeah.
So click on that.
Yeah.
Does it have like the word unsubscribe in it?
I'm sure. Right there. I mean, I'm sure it does. Unsubscribe. I mean, this is.
Scroll down.
Yeah, right there. Click here to unsubscribe.
So it has the word unsubscribe. Maybe it's just taking your filter some time to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to your settings. Is a filter?
Yeah, it is there. I went and checked.
Okay, so perhaps then it's just taking some time, but this email should, let's check back then in like an hour or something. Maybe it's just taking Gmail some time. Are you in our Slack? You're in our Slack team, right?
Yeah, of course.
So send me a direct message in an hour and we'll get on a Zoom one-on-one and see if it's still there. But
all right.
All these emails should be out of your inbox because of that filter that we did.
Yeah, I recognize that.
All right. So let's see with that and just ping me. All right. So we've kind of gone over the hour here, but again, just a reminder for everyone, all of these are recorded and we edit them and then we put it in Wistia, and I've invited everyone to Wistia. So if you don't have access to Wistia or to Slack, write an email to hello@getleverage.com and we'll add you to those things. Also, if you're not taking advantage of the free process tree and Cloud App account, ping us in Slack or email hello@getleverage.com and we'll add you to those. Any last minute questions before we wrap up? Selling people's data after the news. Yeah, Unroll Me. Again, that's like another plugin, like a SaneBox. If you just use that filter that I showed you guys with Inbox by Google, that's literally all you need to use email. Like, I'm not bragging when I say I get hundreds of emails a day, and you saw my screen. I have between 5 email accounts, like 2 emails. And I'm not using Unroll Me. I'm not using SaneBox or Boomerang. Nico, did you want to say something?
No, I was actually trying to say thanks to Brian for that.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you in the Slack team, and thanks a lot for joining.